And we're back. Okay, not gonna do a recap, we're just gonna get straight into it, and I need to review what exactly Gumshoe's testimony was this time. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. The victim used the last of his strength to fight back. Right, trying to remember what all happened. So we proved that Gray fought back and shot with the gun. And Von Karma was basically saying, that doesn't prove anything. While two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant picked up the opening, took the victim's gun, and killed him. Alright. There's quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. Add in body strength, and it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim. Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess. You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the Kurein channeling technique, the medium physically changes. With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. I don't believe it. She even studied up on the Kurein channeling technique. Like I said before, I am perfect. About what you were talking about, I didn't quite get it. Never mind. Let's continue with the testimony. Alright, well that didn't solve anything. All we know is Francisca actually knows about the channeling stuff. So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him. But if you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt pretty bad. How badly hurt would you say he was? Actually, I went to give blood the other day. And afterward, I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness? Sorry. Alright, so that didn't help at all. The victim took out his gun. Where in the world did that pistol come from? It looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically bought it for that day. That's weird. But a handgun? He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder. Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something? That is still the biggest mystery. Like, why? Okay, the gun belonged to him, and apparently he got it 2 days illegally prior. But why? It's not like he wanted to bring the nurse back so he could kill her again. That wouldn't make any sense. So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. I'm really glad you weren't hurt. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the gun, and killed him. I know it says ended it, but pretty much just killed him. Maya has never fired a gun before in her life. The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you can fire it just by pulling the trigger. Even me? I wonder. Now do you understand? Von Karma's logic is perfect. His testimony certainly makes us look very bad. But there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. And uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it. Okay. Is it maybe this? The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. Let me take a look at this again. So that was when the bullet hole was made. No. Let me see. Murder weapon was Gray's. 2 shots fired. Bears Maya's and Gray's fingerprints. Admittedly... No, that doesn't really tell us anything, because it doesn't really tell us anything about her physique. I was gonna say, like, her height and weight doesn't matter, because she's about the same size, but it doesn't really seem to be. Nothing about that seems to indicate anything. This one's hard. Nothing's really jumping out at me right away. Let's see, so that's height... She was in the middle of channeling. With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. So there's that. That's something that's just bothering me with that, with all the highlighted parts. There's still something weird about the folding screen, though. That isn't gonna be helpful at the moment. 2 shots fired, bears Maya's and Grace's fingerprints. Belong to the phase. Clothes Maya was wearing at the time of the murder. Which just tells us about the bullet hole right there. I mean, it is on the sleeve, so conceivably that would be where it was missed. Man, nothing's really jumping out at me. Let's see. Okay, number 2 doesn't seem to offer anything. While 2 were fighting, the victim took out his gun. Dr. Gray specifically bought it for that day. The victim took a shot, but because they were so close, he missed. And then that just leaves the last one. So it's either the first or the last one that I'm thinking. I mean, I'm sure, like, you can fire it. Even me, I wonder. Okay, so yeah, it's either the first one or the last one. Oh, I didn't want to press hold, I wanted to hit present. Because he says, even me, I wonder. And that's the only reason that I'm kind of thinking that maybe that one has something suspicious about it. Nothing about it is really... 2 shots fired, bears Maya's and Gray's fingerprints. The other thing would be... yeah, the physique. It was E's older sister. I mean, I imagine she wouldn't be that much older. And to be able to overcome Gray, who's only 35? Oh, I didn't realize Francisca was only 18. But if it's not that, then the only thing would be... here. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. But why? There's quite a difference in height. Maifei was in the middle of channeling. With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. This one's rough. Now granted, like, I do have I do have just plenty of chances, but I also don't know how long this will be before, like, it either convenes for a second date, if there even is going to be a second day. Granted, I could always save Scum as well, but I'd like to try to do this as legit as possible, and there's just so many different options. Like, the only thing I can think of was maybe, is the gun safety really off? But I don't see anything immediately apparent, kind of like how the glove is for left-handed. It's like, is there anything immediately apparent in the picture? And I don't think so. During channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. But where did the knife come from? See, that's the big thing. Okay, so we know where the gun came from. Gray bought it for some reason. But the knife? Why was the knife there? I'm stumped. I'm honestly stumped. Even me, I wonder. Yeah, what contradiction? It is very difficult to see any contradiction that I can find. Looks like a small hole that looks like a bullet hole. Maybe it is the folding screen? But I can't imagine how that contradicts anything. Stabbed in the chest, then shot at point blank. Which again, doesn't necessarily contradict anything. Let's see. There's a murder while channeling. Mia's somehow here. Yeah, the only thing that I could really see would be Mimi. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm caught between two different statements, and I don't really have any strong evidence to really back up either of those. One is going to be the physique of Mimi, and the other is whether or not the gun could really be fired by anyone. Picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. There wasn't anything for the third one. While two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. Had specifically bought it for that day. Got off the black market 2 days before the murder. Was he taking precautions against something? That doesn't really help me, though. What exactly... What exactly could he have taken precautions against? Like, precautions against the nurse? Who would then come back to kill him in case something bad happened? I mean, I guess that would make sense. But then, he would have been... That would have been premeditative for Maya. But then again, that doesn't exonerate Maya. That then just goes into the justified self-defense. The knife only has fingerprints on Maya's, but not of Gray's. Clothes Maya was wearing at the time of the murder. in which there is a bunch of blood on kind of around the chest area, and then a bullet hole through the sleeve. Which, honestly, that does seem really weird that it's a bullet hole through the sleeve. The only thing I'm kind of thinking of is like, oh, is that where the bullet hole entered or exited? But at this point, I don't think it matters. I'm trying to find where there's a contradiction, and I'm just not seeing anything. Does not help that not only do I have a bunch of evidence that I have to look out for, but there's also the profiles. It is weird that Maya and Francisca are both the same age, though. That is really weird to me. But, like, the only thing would be... Because I do still think it's Morgan, but there's no evidence that it's her yet. So the only thing that would be either Mimi's portrait or Maya's, possibly Gray's. But again, it has to be something about Mimi's physique, which I don't have anything on. And like, just because she's Eni's older sister, was not really told how much older. I've got to present something, though. There's got to be something here. And the good news is, because of my save, I can at the very least come back here. So this is essentially just a hard checkpoint. And I've spent nearly 20 minutes not really accomplishing anything except trying to turn wheels in my head. I mean, would there have been a bigger splash of blood? Not really. What is the autopsy? It says shot point blank. Just because he was shot... I gotta do something. I really have to do something. Saw her chance to stab the victim. And again, the only thing I could think of would be, is there anything about Mimi's physique that would allow her to overcome Gray? Well, wait, if it's the body... Hold on. This is an interesting question. If the spirit takes the form of, like, uses the channeler's body, and the body contorts to become the spirits, does it also change the fingerprints? Because just because it would bear Maya's fingerprints, would changing the body necessarily change it to be Mimi's fingerprints? But there's nothing to really indicate that. That might just be me thinking too hard about it, because the knife has Maya's fingerprints and the gun. Like, there's not, like, another set of fingerprints that somehow matches Mimi's. Because they were missed, they were too close. Was there anything here? So meaning that the bullet hole in this costume was made then. Two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. No. Okay, 2 and 4 do not seem like they have anything of worth. So I have 1 and 5 and possibly 3? Even me, I wonder. Is there anything specific about the gun that would make it so that way... There's gotta be something that I'm missing. There has to be something that I'm missing here. that I'm just not picking up on. A lot of this is either it's really obvious and I get it right away, or I just can't figure it out. I mean, there's the folding screen, there's still that, but nothing really this doesn't contradict anything. That could be from when Grave fired the shot. Theoretically, I'm thinking it was shot from behind the screen, but I don't have the evidence to prove that, and I don't think this really changes anything that Gumshoe said. Unless... Victim used Lapis' strength to fight back while two were fighting. The victim took out his gun. Let me look at it again. So yeah. Is he taking precautions against something? But I mean, theoretically, if he shot in a downward motion, theoretically, it could make that. I'm willing to bet that's not what happened. Screw it. I'm gonna have to present something. Nope. I'm honestly stumped. The victim took out his gun, which he apparently got off the black market 2 days prior. Just try the gun. No? What could it be? The autopsy? No! I'm really not finding anything. Here, let me present profiles. Mimi. No. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have a save state, I would very much be not doing this willy-nilly, but I really can't find anything. The victim took out his gun. Because they were too close, he missed. And yeah, I don't think there's anything here. So you're saying that's where the bullet hole in this costume was made. I'm gonna try this, and if not, then I'm just gonna reload the state. Nope. That's game. Man, this one's rough. This one's really rough. Yes, 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 I lost. Damn it. Okay, well, thankfully, getting from the tile screen back here is very quickly. Okay. So, even someone like Phoenix could have theoretically fired the pistol. But here's the thing. It does say murder weapon. Ah, well, both of them are the murder weapons. But why bother using the gun when you have a knife right there and can just keep stabbing? Nope. Here. Profile. We'll do that, and then Mimi? No. God, I just cannot find anything! Watching it somehow be either 2 or 4, and I'm completely on the wrong track. Cause I am stumped. I am 100% stumped on this. No. I really can't find anything. It's not the knife, and it wasn't Mimi. I don't have anything about the dream either, and I can't tie anything to fingerprints. Green jewel doesn't mean anything. The diagram, perhaps? Because where would the knife had come from? Now. Alright, well, instead of going through that, let's just reload the save. Ugh, this is rough. This is really rough. Defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. But again, where would the knife had come from? I mean, I guess theoretically it could have been, oh, well, maybe she hid it under her clothes. But I mean, they were just kind of in the center of the room, so I don't see where that would have happened from. I'm so close to looking up just a guide. This is really... this is rough. This is really rough. Is there anything that would mean that the gun would have been too heavy for Maya to fire? I don't think there would be. I already said when the bullet hole would have been made from the channeling clothes. Is there anything? Yeah, died in a car accident, Eni's older sister. Nothing else really tells me anything. Malpractice, which wouldn't tell me anything. That doesn't tell me anything. The Magatama is not useful here. Died while falling asleep, which isn't helpful. There's the folding screen with a bullet hole. The floor plans of the crime scene. Which again, you've got the folding screen, which there is someone that could hide there, but again, that's getting ahead of myself. You've got the altar where there's a few other things, and then where the 2 people would be sitting in the middle of the room. The autopsy report, it was stabbed, then shot, and the shot was what killed him. There's gunpowder residue around the bullet hole, which says that it's point blank. Murder weapon was grazed, 2 shots fired. Small fruit knife belongs to the face. Bears Maya's fingerprints. I've been at this for half an hour, and I have zero... I'm still nowhere close to figuring out what exactly it is that I need to do. It's just that, hey, the bullet hole was caused during this struggle. You've also got Francisca kind of going, because they were so close, he missed. Nope. I mean, I can just try everything and just save scum. I hate doing that. Oh! I somehow stumbled onto it. Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. Eh? What do you mean? Yes, Phoenix, elaborate, because even I don't know what you mean. This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where's the gunpowder burn on this costume? Gunpowder burn? This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh! But there's not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. Oh, because it's from the previous one, which it's been a few days since I recorded. Cool. Great. This wouldn't be a problem if I did it back to back. Possibly. I don't know. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the defendant pushed the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How is that? As if that was even possible. According to testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Well, then... That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, when she was prepared to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There. That should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. It doesn't make sense. Why would she push him away while you're in the middle of stabbing them? There's a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. Fatal? Flaw? Yeah! Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. That's where it is. That's where it is. There must be a piece that contradicts it. The folding screen. If he shot, he would have shot upward. Doesn't make sense if there's a bullet hole in the folding screen. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that? A folding screen? I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. It looks like you already know what I'm talking about.
Ooh, where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please.
Are these two really that clueless?
The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means... when the shot was fired, the defendant was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground.
Order! Order! This changes everything.
Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location about 8 inches off the ground. At the time, the defendant was in this area. Right around here. Somewhere around here.
Uh-oh, the judge's face is scrunched like he just smelled some serious bad breath. Wait, I just realized I forgot to brush this morning. Excuse me while I freshen up.
Sure.
In the meantime, I want you to think things through again, Mr. Wright.
Of course. It's done, it's done. For now, I should focus on where Maya was. Well, I guess it wouldn't be where she was standing before from where we saw. She would have to be right here where it was being stabbed. Again? Right, because it would have to be far away. So she must have been... weird. Okay. So she had to have been far away and must have passed through about 8 inches off the ground. So I guess she would have to be pretty close? I guess it would kind of have to be around here if she was squatting. Potentially cowering in fear because of the gun? I guess that would make sense, because if we're assuming that maybe there wasn't a stabbing... I'll say close to the bullet hole. She was standing here, near the folding screen. Wait a second! We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You of all people should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there's nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Knight! You...
I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation?
Yes, because why would she be that far away if she stabbed him? Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with a knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time?
Squatting all the way by the folding screen?
Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing the strike?
Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to have been a reason.
Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the
blast radius of disaster.
You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amaze me.
Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be the smarmy smile?
Detective! How dare you damage my perfect logic!
Huh? How's this all my fault?
You can start repairing your standing by first removing the 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later.
Punishment?
Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness.
Next witness? Oh, that's gotta be Lotta. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. Okay, well, that required a lot of just complete guesswork. Oh boy, that was hard for me to really keep on following, if I'm being honest. A lot of guesswork. At least with the bullet hole where Maya would have been, that one there wasn't too many other places where it could have been. There was really nowhere else it could be. But trying to remember the gunpowder residue, that's just remembering that there's a negative and trying to prove that is not always intuitive. But we survived, and that's all that matters. So, next time on Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. We're gonna go and presumably talk to Maya and kind of in the lobby area, get a little bit of info there, and then reconvene for Lotta's testimony. So, until next time, everyone, take care.